Hey guys, so for today's video, we're gonna do a little two-in-one. I have been getting so many requests to do an updated brow tutorial, so I'm gonna be doing that today, and I'm also gonna be doing an in-depth tutorial on how I prime my eyes for eyeshadow. I've never really done an in-depth video on that before, so we're gonna do that today. So if that all sounds good to you, go ahead and keep on watching. All right, let's start with brows because I always do my brows first, no matter what kind of makeup look I'm doing, whether it's like a natural look or a full-on glam look. And I do wanna point out that I naturally have a lot of brow hairs to begin with. I don't get my brows waxed. I haven't gotten my brows waxed in almost like 2 years now, so I kind of just shape them myself with tweezers, mostly just pulling out any dark hairs that I see. I also have some old microblading in my brows. I think I got it done maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't plan on getting any touch-ups for it, but that's kind of the history of my brows, I guess. So I used to really go in with filling my brows, like doing that whole like carved out brow look, but I've been keeping it really simple recently, so let me show you what I do. Of course, I just brush my brows up with a spoolie. And then I like to go in with the brow pen. I've really been loving the NYX Lift and Snatch one. It's cheap, it's drugstore, it does exactly what I want it to do. I have used the Anastasia brow pen before, but honestly, I think I like this one better, so save your money, get the NYX one. And I use the shade Espresso in the pen because I like it to be a little bit darker, so it adds like more dimension in my brows and makes them look not so flat. I'm sorry if my camera goes out of focus for this because it might focus on my hand, but all I'm gonna do is just do some flicks throughout the front of my brow and kind of the arch of my brow up there. And then for this part, I like to brush my brow hairs down. And then I'll extend my tail just a little bit. And then brush my brows back to normal. And then if I want to fill in any more spots, I go in with the brow pencil. I've really been liking the Kosas Brow Pop, and I use the shade Medium Brown. And I just kind of like to fill in the under part of my brow right here up front. And then once I make a couple lines, I like to brush through it. And then again, I brush my brow hairs down, and I do have a couple gaps right up here from like the microblading fading, so I'm gonna fill in right there as well. Right, and I am pretty happy with that. So just the brow pen and the brow pencil is all I use for filling it in. Here's the before and after. This brow is just kind of darker and more filled in. Like, it's not that big of a difference, I feel like. And then once I'm 100% done with my makeup, I go in with a brow gel. So I'll like do my whole face of makeup, finish my eyeshadow, do my lashes, all that good stuff. And then I'll brush through my brows one more time because I always get eyeshadow in my eyebrows, especially if it's like a glitter or a shimmer. So I always brush through my brows again, and then I'll set them with the clear brow gel. I've really been liking the Kosas Airbrow. Again, it's just a clear brow gel. I'll do this step later, but it just has a tiny one like this, and you just apply it through your brows. You're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in this eyebrow, and then we'll talk about priming the eyes. All right, the eyebrows are done. Now let's talk about eyeshadow primer and why you need to use it. So eyeshadow primer does 2 big things for you that's very important if you want your makeup to look good. First of all, it's gonna make your eyeshadow last longer, and it's gonna make your eyeshadow appear more pigmented. So right now I have nothing on my eyelids, and if I just went in with an eyeshadow right now and tried to blend it out, it would look terrible. It would be sticking in weird places. So with eyeshadow primer, it gives you a nice, clean, smooth base to work with. And eyeshadow primer will also cover up any discoloration on your eyelids or any veins you have, which is super super common. So as far as products go, I used to be the person that would prime my eyes with concealer, just whatever concealer I use under my eyes, I would apply it on my eyelids, set it with powder, and be good to go. And while I think that does work really well, and I did that technique for years, sometimes it was just a little too thick on my eyelid and just like too much coverage. So I switched to an actual eyeshadow primer about probably over a year ago, and I haven't used anything else since. So the only eyeshadow primer I use now, and I recommend this to everyone, it is the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. It looks just like this, and it has a little doe foot applicator. I'm gonna show you on my hand really quick, but what I love about this is that it has a tiny hint of color in it, but it's not too much color like a concealer would have. And you see just how smoothly it blends out, like almost into nothing. And I'm actually running really low on this, so I do have a backup, must have always. So all I'm gonna do is just take the wand out like that, and I'm going to apply that all over my eyelid, but I'm also gonna bring it into this inner corner area and right here on the outer corner. I feel like a lot of people tend to miss this area because like you blend your eyeshadow out there, so you should prime out there too, right? And then I'm gonna take a Sigma E28 detail buffer brush, and I'm just gonna blend this in. And you can see that this is covering up any discoloration that was on my eyelids. Bring it all the way up to my brow. And all the way in here as well, really close to my nose. And then I like to go in with my finger and just really pat that in. So you can see the difference there. Look at just like how much brighter this eye looks compared to this one, and all I have is just eyeshadow primer on my lid. And then I like to set my eyeshadow primer with the translucent powder. I know that some people can get away with not setting their eyeshadow primer, but I've always done it because it just sets the primer in place and it's not gonna be tacky when you're applying eyeshadow. The translucent powder gets rid of any tackiness, you know? So my favorite powder for this is the RCMA No Color Powder. This is the best translucent powder, hands down. I'm taking an E60 from Sigma, and I just dip it in the powder, so like that. Tap it off because you don't need that much. And I first like to set in the crease because that's kind of where you blend all your eyeshadow, right? And I set all the way up towards my brow, in that inner corner area, all the way to the outer corner area, and the lid. So everywhere where I put the primer, I'm gonna set that as well. All right, now my eyelid is nice and smooth. It's ready for eyeshadow. Like I can touch my lid and it doesn't feel sticky or anything because I set it in place with that translucent powder. I never really realized how big of a difference it makes on my eyelids just with that eyeshadow primer. I love it. I have had people ask me about the under eye area and whether or not you need to prime that part of your eye. And personally, with the way that I do my makeup, I don't need to add primer down there because if you watch my videos, I always do my top lid first with my eyeshadow, and then I'll do my face makeup. And as I do my face makeup, I'm bringing my under eye concealer up in here along my lower lash line. So in that case, the concealer is acting as my eyeshadow primer. And then I do set my concealer with this same exact powder. So my under eye is already primed for under eye eyeshadow. Start with setting the crease all the way to the outer corner, all the way to the inner corner towards the nose, right under the brow and the lid. All right, and that is going to wrap up this video. So that was my current eyebrow routine and exactly how I prime my eyes for eyeshadow every single time I do my makeup. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I would be happy to answer them. And I'm gonna link every single product I talked about today in the description box. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.